Okay, we're back at it again. It is November 14th, 1942. Desert Wolf versus Wirraway. Let's get to it. Let's see what happens. Okay. No Coast Watchers here. No mention of any light cruisers this time. Okay, this is a Japanese sub. It appears to have been intercepted now by an American or ISIS. That might be a British ship. All right. So it looks like Desert Wolf is operating ASW patrols near Aurora, and they picked up this Japanese sub, but nothing came of it. Okay, no night bombing tonight. The moonlight's very low. Okay, we got the daylight now, and we're looking for some more Coast Watcher reports. Pretty quiet so far. Okay, there was no naval activity really. Oh, cool. A CM is a cruiser mine layer. The Japanese ones are pretty substantial, and they can carry troops and supply and stuff too. Oh, Tungi air mission. Uh-oh. Well, that could be good for the Japanese if some of these missions are canceled due to weather. That means that if they have any damaged aircraft on Tungi, they have a better chance of getting the heck out of there before they get bombed on the ground again. Lysander is more or less a recon plane. You saw that comment over Rangoon. Wow, that AM phase was pretty quiet, but you know what? That's good for Wirraway. He needed that. Okay, I think we're into the PM phase here. There's one of those recon planes again. Not much happening here, just a lot of recon. Wow, that was eerily quiet. There's basically no offensive operations today. I think it must have just been bad weather everywhere. Let's see if we have any kind of ground combat here. Alright. There we go. Thank you, Wirraway. Thank you. You need to do this. Alright, he needed to push this button and see what's gonna come of it, alright? I'm gonna go ahead and hit the fast forward button. I want you to pay special attention to this. If you start seeing units disappearing here, that's good for Wirraway. Let's go. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this. He started with this, the engine, the game engine here, calculated and adjusted AV here. The Japanese do knock down the fort level to 2, which is a good thing. And we'll take a look at losses here. This is very, very good. Good for Wirraway. This is the best you could possibly expect attacking on ×3 terrain against forts. Now, granted, the Allies have bad troops and they have no supply, but still, they still got something, right? They can throw rocks. So the fact that only a few squads were destroyed for the Japanese versus a lot for the Allies is definitely worth this attack, and he needs to stay on top of this. I think the Japanese need to continue attacking here and not let up, but I'm not him. So there you go. This needed to happen for Wirraway for sure. Okay, another bombardment in this impassable hex here. Minor losses there, nothing major. That's it. Wow. Quiet turn. And you know, that's okay, because I think both sides here need to kind of rest and regroup after the last couple days. And this turn was particularly good for Wirraway because he needed to have a chance to get some of those damaged aircraft evacuated out of Tangi before the rest of them got destroyed on the ground too. Let's see if we get any reinforcements here. Oh, that's a good one. Those are always good. So another Marine squadron and a naval construction unit. All right, not too bad. This will be quick. Well, this turn was kind of quiet, but that's okay. The last few weren't, so we'll go through this and try to figure out why it was quiet. Let's get on with this first. Aircraft losses for today, a big difference from the previous few days, right? One of each, one PBY and one Jake. No pilots lost for the Allies. Looking at army loss points here, 7 for the Allies, 1 for the Japanese, and that's going to be up in Lanchao. Ship sunk last turn, nothing that we can see. And looking at the overall score for this turn, it went up 3 points for the Japanese, but the win ratio holding steady at 1.604. Okay, so combat report. If you look at this might be the shortest combat report I've ever seen. Very little actually happened this turn. The second report, I reviewed it, and there's only one thing that really stood out to me. Look at this. The 4th Tank Regiment is planning for an attack on Chongqing. Well, that's a little presumptuous, right? I don't see anywhere on this map where the Japanese have any chance in heck to get the Chongqing right now. So I don't know where the 4th Tank Army or Regiment's at, but good luck getting through all these guys. Alright, for the opposite point, I only saw one thing. CM Saishu is reported as hit. And this is a PBY 5 from VP 72. So that's out here in the Marshalls. Let's find VP 72. So who's this guy? VP 24. VP 72. So these are the guys that hit that guy last turn. My guess is going to be Lieutenant McDonald since he went up in experience, although that's not necessarily a guarantee. But again, I already mentioned this the other day. When you have pilots that have a search skill at or above 60, the higher it goes, the more increasingly likely that they will actually attack when they spot something. And let's look at that grid again. It was 136, 121. 136 right here. So we know he's got a cruiser mine layer here out of these two ships, at least as of right now. Maybe he's moved them off to. Maybe he doesn't. Actually, maybe he doesn't. We don't know. But everything is within the reach of Allied float planes right now, and he's taking a lot of losses. If not losses, let's call it damaged ships from these things. All right, let's go ahead and start with the turn. It shouldn't take long at all. So the only real action we saw here was a Japanese ground attack in Lanchao, and I've been saying it for a few days that Wirraway needs to do this, and he shaved off 250 AV on this first attack, and on top of that, he knocked down the fort level at the base to a size 2. So this was a good attack, and the losses were in the the Japanese favor. They took losses, but mostly disabled squads, and those can be returned. So what I'm guessing here is that he keeps a hex full of reserve troops, and when he has a big attack, he rotates out the most damaged unit and brings in one. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm tired tonight. He brings in one from down here and exchanges it out. But he needs to keep attacking at Lanchao. I think he needs to follow up with this because the allies are just so weak right now with low supplies. Disruption and fatigue aren't too bad, but I don't know. Now's the time to push this advantage, so we'll see what he does in the following turns. Okay. So, Burma, incredibly quiet this turn. Almost no air activity at all. And I was started digging around to try to figure out why. So here, we see some recon stuff, right? But some fighters set to escort. Up here at Chittagong, where the bulk of the Allied bomber force is at, this is pretty telling right here. Most of the squadrons were set to training. Only 3 were set to airfield. And none actually flew. So I'm looking at the weather here, and it's overcast, and I don't think overcast is good enough to stop flights. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys know better, let me know, but I thought we could fly from an overcast space. Then I looked over at Lido. We also have aircraft on airfield attack this turn, but they did not fly. And then I look at the weather at Lido, and it's overcast again. So again, I don't think overcast is sufficient bad weather to prevent a flight, but they did not fly. And when you look at their target, Tangi, it's clear sky. So I don't really understand why the Allied bombers didn't fly this turn when they had orders to do so. So if anybody's aware of a reason why, is overcast weather bad enough to stop flights? Because it didn't even give us a bad weather indicator. I just turned them on. Right? I would think anywhere that's got cloud cover over it would be a base that couldn't fly missions. But that's not the case at Chittagong and Ledo, which were the 2 of the main Allied bombing forces. So it's a little bit of a mystery to me. Moving along, though, we'll go take a look at the marshals. So we already talked about the CM over here at Millie. We have some ships up here that don't look to be anything of any real value. We have this guy out here by itself. I think we had some cruisers spotted here the turn before. Now they're gone. We see nothing at Nauru. So I'm a little confused as to what the Japanese are actually doing here. And to be honest with you, I'm a little confused as to what DesertWolf is trying to do, because I don't see anything giving me a good signal as to where he's going next. He's got this amphibious task force that he's had set to go somewhere for days. They haven't moved anywhere. Nothing here looks right. Now these guys are coming in from I don't even know where, but they're only going to Korea. So I don't even know where. I'm confused as to what DesertWolf's next moves are going to be. I really don't have any clue. He's not telegraphing it for us like he kind of did for the Macon attack. This one I have no idea. Down here we have the Smith, which was damaged 2 days ago in combat. It's almost back to Tapatuea, which it'll be fine. It can get repaired. Plenty of naval support there to help with that. Taking a peek at the Japanese bases up here, we don't see a whole lot. that tell us much. Yeah, I'm just kind of mousing over this, guys, so you can see what the Japanese are showing, but it's really hard for me to tell what's happening up here. And this is something that I noticed. This thing that's being listed as an LB, which is a landing barge, I don't think that's what it actually is. It was at Tulagi last turn, and now it's over here. So I don't know if that's signaling that they're moving in a direction or going somewhere, but it was here. And now it's here. And then, of course, the Coast Watchers have been reporting light carriers, rather, at Rabaul and Tulagi. So I don't know if that is worthwhile information or not. So this is, remember the last time we had some issues with the ops report didn't really print out correctly or give us full data. So I'm looking at it now, and I'm not seeing the same level of detail that we had before, where it was telling us that there were light carriers in port. If anything, it says Tulagi is now empty. So it's your guess, as good as mine, if there's actually anything there or not. I don't know. I think that's basically it for this turn. It was very quiet, but that's to be expected when you have such wild turns like we just experienced the last couple days. So everybody's got to take a chill pill, calm down, get reset. There may have been some weather-related issues or something else, bad Gary Grigsby dice rolls, I don't know, that kept these bombers from flying to Tungi. But one of two things happened here. Either there's absolutely zero aircraft left and they've all been destroyed, or where we was able to evacuate what few were remaining. I think the former is true. I think just about everything was decimated underground. But hard to say. Oh, you know, now that I'm looking at it, look at this. Tavoy, 57 fighters. So I'm wondering if he did pull back all of his fighters to a base that he thought was out of reach of the Allied bombers. And, you know, for the most part, it kind of is. So Tavoy is here. Chittagong is 19 away. And we got E's and F's here. Yeah, they're definitely not going to hit it. And then Lito's got the long range stuff, right? 24. Can they hit it? Let's see. Yeah. Yes, possible. Although it would be inadvisable to fly these bombers from Lido down here, because I'm pretty sure that Wirraway's learned his lesson about not flying cap over bases. So it may not be wise to send liberators at extreme long range down to avoid a bomb that this upcoming turn. But you never know. For all I know, he relocates his stuff here and then goes in. Well, let's see what that range would be. 1721. What is it about these Liberator 2s that they have longer range? Man, look at that. I don't know. We'll keep watching them. So, since this turn was so quick, let's briefly go over some reinforcement stuff. We haven't talked about that much this campaign. So, we'll take a look. Let's just tell you what. We'll just go like the next 10 days. Just look at the stuff that's coming on map in just a few days. So, for aircraft, we have some more LB-30 Liberators coming into San Francisco, although they're going to be coming in with no aircraft because this squadron was probably disbanded or withdrawn. He'll fill these up with whatever he's got. In 9 days, we have another Kingfisher unit, and these are always great because they're good for Navy training. And in 12 days, we have another PBY unit coming in. For ships coming in the next few days, let's take a look at that. So, quite a bit of stuff. A bunch of AKs, a sub chaser, more AKs, a motor gunboat. Oh, check this out. The Frobisher, which is a heavy cruiser. I don't think I'm familiar with this class of... What is this? A Frobisher class? Huh. I don't think I've ever heard of a ship like this before. And look at these guns. 7.5 inch. Not even 8-inch guns. I'm gonna have to look this up. The Frobisher class. Let me write that down. Frobisher class. That's interesting. I look forward to reading about this. I've never heard of a ship like this. Kind of short endurance, reasonably high speed, a weird caliber of guns. Frobisher class. That sounds like a World War I vintage ship that was modernized. Okay, let's keep looking. A CM. So this is a mine layer. That's cool. A couple of subs, a couple AOs. Okay, that's fine. And the last thing we'll look at are ground reinforcements. See what we're getting in here next few days. So, air wing base. That'd be good for building up bases out in the Pacific that have a lot of aircraft. Another base force. Another CB unit. Man, there's a lot of those. Another USM base force. Man, this is... Look at that. That's so cool to have all these guys. So it looks like a lot of construction and defensive type units, really. Base forces, construction regiments, CBs, that kind of thing. We don't really see anything with a lot of attack value for quite a while, actually. A lot of support units coming in, but you know, you got to have support units to bring in the offensive units, right? All right, well there it is. That's the reinforcements coming on map the next 10 days. I'll summarize this. The turn was pretty quiet. We had some weird stuff going on in Burma as far as aircraft flying or not flying, but it was probably good for Wirraway to have a break from all that air disaster. That's a series on TV, right? Air disaster. Well, we can call this campaign the Wirraway air disaster because it's been pretty rough, man. Aircraft losses, if you look at these, just crazy. Well, as always, thanks for watching this turn. I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to get in 1943 because we're getting there, guys. We're getting close. This is already the 15th of November now. So I'm hoping for a lot more action coming up. We still got major carrier battles to come, without question. Neither side has lost carriers yet, right? If you look at that. Nothing. So we got one coming, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but it'll be soon because the Allies have basically all of their best carriers here in Pearl, and they'll be ready in 2 to 4 days. So it'll be really fun to see where these guys go. I have a feeling where they're going to go, but we'll find out. Catch you guys on the next one.